Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Vobes show. Hello, it's the 2nd of July 2018. Sorry about the long intro there at the beginning. Just had a sudden moment where the camera just froze and it was a slight panic. And I thought, oh no, we had that situation on Friday and I didn't want the same thing to happen again. Anyway, never mind. It seems to be working. Fingers crossed. I'm not quite sure what was going on. Had the gremlins in on Friday. We don't want the gremlins back again. Not with things like Tractor Fest coming up. We've got to get all of this sorted. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, if it's the first time you're watching, thank you very much. We're watching live on Facebook. That's where we broadcast this show, the Vobes show. If, on the other hand, you're watching this later on Facebook, that's great. If you're watching on YouTube, then I'm afraid at the moment it is a pre-recording that you're watching. But, ladies and gentlemen, we come from a very small terraced house in Worthing at the edge of the South Downs and beside the wonderful English Channel. And it's been another scorcher of a day, ladies and gentlemen. Another scorcher of a day to get the old bucket and spade out. And that's just what I've been doing. But more about that later. Let's find out if there's anybody actually watching on Facebook Live as we do this. And Paul Watts has joined. Anne Osborne is there. Steve Blakey is there. Nigel Sadler, Kevin Hall, Elaine Brazier, Claire Leach, Cynthia Walder, Anne Osborne, Richard Suggett, Jonathan Belusic even, Chris Puller, loads of people joining every second, which is marvellous, and that's what we like to see. So hang on, let me just scroll down. I'm sure there's plenty more where that came from. Kevin Hall, Emily Champion, the lovely Julia, Steve Pilfold, and so on and so. Dan Thompson, fantastic. Now, let me assure you, ladies and gentlemen, in today's show... Oh, the lovely Nikki Jess has just come in. Let me assure you that in today's show, ladies and gentlemen, there will be no puerile humour, as we had a comment last week saying, oh, this is too puerile for me. And somebody left it, I can't remember who it was, somebody said, and I thought this is a bit weird. It's a bit weird because, wait a minute, 95% of what I do is puerile, and if it's too puerile for you, we're going to have to set up a puerilometer. Yes, we'll have a big swing, one of those pendulum things that shows, and an alarm will go off when the show is far too puerile, because actually this is the puerile show. It's as mad as fruitcake. We are all Fruit Loops here. We're as barking as anything. And I'm so sorry if it is puerile, but there you are. That is what it is. I just thought I'd get that out. Now, let me also tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that we didn't hit our target last month. Oh, no, we didn't hit our target. It was very upsetting, I can tell you. We were supposed to get, all of us together, you and me, both, were trying to get 800 members in the Bald Explorer group pages, which is our sister thing. The Vobes show has its own little following and whatever. But in our sister show, the Bald Explorer, which does these wonderful walks and heritage things, and it's going to be over at Tractor Fest, I should mention that, in August. And it's also going to be doing some stuff in Biddenden. Try and get that right. We're also going to be going to Preston Manor. We're going to go back to the Regency Townhouse and see the lovely Paul Coachman. We're going to be doing all sorts. It's all lovely. We've got some fantastic walks. We've been to Parham House recently, and so on and so forth. Anyway, we're trying to get at least 800. We've got a target for 800 for last month. Well, last month came and went. We had 785, so we're a bit low. We're a bit low on that. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to try and get 900 now, another 100 and what's that, 15? Another 115, if you'd please, by the end of play on the 31st of July, by the end of this month. So please go and convert your friends. Tell them about the Vobes show. Tell them about the Bald Explorer group. Get them involved, because all sorts of exciting goodies are going to happen. I have a feeling that this is only the beginning. And I should say that... the Bald Explorer stuff has been going... The first original Bald Explorer, I think, got going in about 2011. We did those long-format television documentary stuff, which was all great and fun. And then last year, around about this time in June, end of June, mid-June, I don't know, sometime in June, I can't remember when it was. Anyway, we got going with the daily walks, and we've been doing the daily walks from Monday to Friday, a new walk every day over the whole year. So that is a cause for us to go... because we're about a year old, and I think, we've probably got to plod on for another year before really we break through the boundary and the world knows about us. Because at the moment, I think the world is ignorant. They don't know that the fantastic stuff of the Vobes show and the Bald Explorer and the whole group and the team of people all behind this, they don't know that this all exists, but they're going to know. By golly, we're going to get it, and we all need to pull together to help. So we need 900 members in the Bald Explorer Pages group by the end of July, and I know that you're going to help by sharing the videos, sharing the daily walks on your Facebook pages. Tell your friends about it. You're going to share them to groups that you're members of and go, hey, they're going to enjoy this. You're going to help. I know you will. So there we go. Let's see what your guys are saying. They're saying all sorts of things. Jennifer Stewart has joined, which is lovely. Anne Osborne is there. Steve Pullett says, just don what I did and add your friends without asking. Oh, just do what he did. There we are. Add your friends without asking. Just shared the live show to the world, says Kevin Hall. Hello, world. Hello, world. It's so nice. It's fantastic. We're going to try and get this year, I don't know how long it'll take, we're going to try and get the live show that we get up to 100 people watching at any one time. So we're going to try and do some more interesting things. It all takes time, it all takes money, it all takes everything. But thank you for those people who are the patrons of Vobes, who support the Vobes and keep it going. That's very much appreciated. And thank you for everybody else who shares and all of that. So that's all good. The lovely Julia says, I'm having a commenting issue on my PC again. What's the betting? I'm now typing as the Bald Explorer. But no, Julia, you're typing as yourself, which is lovely. Ian Beddoes has arrived. Hello, Ian. Lovely to see you. Thank you for checking in. That's very nice. Evening, Vobie, he says. Mark Selwood, he says, hiya, gang. How is everyone? Julia is very happy that Woot, she says she is me. Yes, she can't climb into my skin, I'm afraid. She has to be her own individual purple self, which is what we love and adore, and that's why we have her on the show, as you know. And we had a great show with the lovely Julia on Friday. Well, it was a bit puerile, of course. It was a bit too puerile. I was probably being a bit silly with the I Declare a Thumb War, but, I lost anyway, so I shouldn't have played it in the first place, really. Now, on the show, let me tell you I also should tell you that as on YouTube, we have YouTube, and if you're watching on YouTube, thank you, YouTube people. Thank you so much, you guys on YouTube, for coming back and watching the show. Also, please do tell people about it and share it, because on the subscribers, we've got nearly 2,000. Hopefully we've gone over the 2,000 mark. I don't know. But when I looked this morning, we were 1,998. We nearly got 2,000 subscribers on YouTube. Now, I know there are other channels with 10,000 subscribers or 307,000 subscribers. I know there are other channels with millions and millions of other subscribers, many, many more than us. But, ladies and gentlemen, they're not as good. They're not as good. Let's be fair. And the world doesn't know we're there. I think you'll get more viewers in the autumn, says Steve Pilfold, and the winter when the nights draw in. Yes, when those winter nights draw in, we'll gather them round, get them by the fire and say, it's all right, boys, you can take your helmets off, put your swords down there, warm yourself up, and you can be part of the show. It's always nice when those winter nights, because they must be shivering in all that armour, all those winter nights. Yes, of course they must. It's all clean living, says Andy Ash. It is clean living, which is what we do enjoy. So nearly 2,000 subscribers. So we're doing really well, ladies and gentlemen. We're starting the week with really good figures, and I'm very thrilled, which is nice. Now, Mark Taylor has given us a video, which has sent in a video for the live show, which is fantastic. Don't forget, if you go out and do some Vobing reporting, you can. Yes, you can. You can send it to the Vobie One-Eyed Kenobi, and I'll play it in the show. So, when you go out, wherever you happen to have one of your phones or a camera or anything like that, do, take a picture and tell us where you are. It doesn't have to be a long, complicated thing. It could be anything. You're all going out and you're posting photographs and stuff, but do send me a little thing. Hello, Richard. I'm doing a Vobing report. I'm here at wherever it is. And it can be as quickly as that. It would be lovely to have many people just sending in little tiny clips. Say 20 seconds. That's all it has to be. Say who you are, where you are, and what you think, and maybe just give us a panning shot. And that would be it. That's all you have to do. You don't need to be a great filmmaker like not George Lucas. Who's the other one? The one who did E.T., whose name now I can't remember. He was so famous as the greatest filmmaker of all time and all that. But I can't remember his name, so there we go. Somebody will remember. 39 watching so far, 40 in fact, 41. Emily Champion says they're all going. The numbers are going up. 44, 8 more for 44, 45, 46, 47, 50. I'll give you 150, 170, 180 to the man over the back there. All 792 going once, going twice. You can't stop him once he gets going. The old Vobes one-eyed Kenobi, you know. Oh, I know. So somehow, ladies and gentlemen, one of the other tasks now in this sort of next domain of the Vobes one-eye, the next sort of going forward, the next year, the future, is I've got to try and work out how to market the show and get it out into more places. And maybe some of you guys have some marketing skills and would know how to do that. It would be absolutely fantastic. So that's all very good. Now, we've got a lot of exciting things happening coming up and what have you. But nothing is more exciting than getting your bucket and spade out on a hot day like today, ladies and gentlemen. Steven Spielberg, thank you very much, Jonathan Beluzik. That was the bloke I was thinking about, Steven Spielberg, and he got a lot of spiel, hasn't he? So, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, the lovely Julia and I don't know if you've noticed this, the lovely Julia and I have been a bit envious. You see, we appeared with the lovely Richard Suggett in his allotment a few weeks ago, and then I went back and I was also appearing in his on the Vobes show, in fact, and I spoke to Julia about this, and I said, "Oh, I'm gutted. I haven't got an allotment. I don't know what to do. I want to grow some veg and all that." And the lovely Julia said, "Well, I wanted to do an allotment. I've been itching to do an allotment for ages. I wanted to grow my own food: purple sprouting broccoli, purple carrots, purple cabbage. I want to grow purple pigs and purple elves and purple unicorns," she said. And I thought she was just going off on a strange tangent, but, you know, you'd have to humour her from time to time. Anyway, and I thought about this, and she said, "Do you know what we should do? We should get rid of the thistles." I said, "They're not thistles. They're tweezels. They're twirlers." No, I can't. You see, I got told off. The lovely Pam sent me an email telling me that I was a bloke who doesn't listen when I couldn't remember what these long thistle things, I don't know what they are, but she told me off. I got this email. She said, "Oh, you're a man that doesn't listen. You won't listen. You won't listen to reason." I thought, "Oh, I've upset you. I don't know if Pam's out there, but she was scolding. I had hot water poured all over me. Anyway, I completely forgive you, Pam, but I still can't remember what the sodding name of these thistle, tweezle, twaddles, whatever they are. See, I don't always remember. You can't blame a man for not always remembering everything. Anyway, whatever they are, the teasels, there we go. Teasels. Is it teasels? Jennifer Stewart says they're teasels. 8 foot tall they were. Anyway, as you know, you may have seen in the Facebook pages, teasels, they used to be known as hairbrushes. Oh, there we go. Anyway, there were all these teasels, and she said, "I'm going to put an allotment in there." And I said, "No, you're not. I'm going to put an allotment in there. I don't want you getting your lovely dainty little fingers and all your purple hair tangled up in all that nonsense." I said, "Don't. I want you to sit there and take it easy whilst I go and sort it all out." So I stripped off and I got down to the business and got round. Well, anyway, we started the job the other day, and we posted a little video, I think, on YouTube and people on Facebook, and everybody's enjoyed that. And then we got started again today and did a bit more after the school run, which was very good. So yesterday we sort of got rid of these teasels. Teased that out of me, didn't you? And now look at this, ladies and gentlemen. I've taken out the topsoil. If you have a look at that picture there, you may not quite appreciate, but all of that was 75% was gravel. And then the other, whatever, the 25% was earth and stuff. But all in clay. It was so difficult. I had the pickaxe and a fork and a spade, and I've cleared all that space now. You can't really see it. It's about 10 or 11 foot by about 6 foot. It all looks very... it's all very tricky, you see. So that's what I've been doing. And look, here's a picture of me, hard at work, ladies and gentlemen. Hard at it with the teasels there and all that kind of stuff. And it all looks very difficult. And, of course, the lovely Julia was very helpful. Very, very helpful. She was making sure that I got everything done, sunning herself in the swimming pool, which, yes, that was very helpful. Thank you very much, lovely Julia. She was having a lovely splash about whilst I was casting about with the shovel. Anyway, never mind all that, because we've got an update. We've got a video update. We'll post the video update on Facebook a little bit later. But in the meantime, have a listen to this. So, ladies and gentlemen, the allotment continues. Again, I'm knackered. This is sort of day 2 of the dig, and if you look at the stills images that I'll post with this, you'll see the expanse of it, which is about, I don't know, that must be 10 foot, 11 foot by about 6,
Yep.
the actual space.
About that.
Is it looking all right, madam?
Yes, it's looking really good.
So I've spoken to Mr. Suggett, Richard Suggett from the Veg Grower podcast, who said he reckons some horse manure is going to be the best thing to infill. Get some scaffold.
Horses, to let them poo in here.
Get the horses to let them poo in here. I'm not sure about that. He knows somebody, luckily, who can do all the pooing.
He's got a source for poop.
And yes, some scaffold borders just to hold the walls up, to border it, which would be quite good. And then I guess that mixed in with a bit of compost. And then Richard's going to pop round and advise the lovely Julia on what plants is suitable to do. And what have you got there? Show the lovely viewer.
He's an itty bitty snail. He's not that itty bitty, but he's itty bitty enough.
There you go. He's a tiddly little thing, isn't he?
It's a tiddler.
He's probably a bit worried.
He's like, what's going
Where's
on?
the ground gone?
You can go over there.
Thanks.
There you go, buddy.
Cattykins. Anyway, so yeah, thanks for all the posts, by the way, regarding gardens, allotments and all that. It's quite interesting. It's that sort of time when people want to be out in the garden, so keep them coming.
It's keeping our enthusiasm up as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's keeping us motivated. So just waiting for Mr. Suggett now. I think we've got the space. We'll look for some scaffold boards, and that's it.
Yeah.
My invoice will be on your desk first thing in the morning.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I should be sure to ignore it.
See you later. Ooh, eek. Anyway, always good to get a cat's bum into the picture, isn't it? Oh, always good. If you can get, when you're out filming, get a picture of a cat's bum, it just makes the show so much more delectable. So there we go. Jonathan Palusic says, what does he say? The pose is very male catalogue. Thanks for that. Is Richard in his undies? Says Jennifer Stewart. No, they were my stripy shorts. Thank you very much. Kevin, did someone pay you to wear those shorts? No, they didn't. Thank you. What shorts are going on and on about my shorts? How interesting. How is that? Anyway, never mind all that nonsense. Put the mouse back in the house. Yes, it's a nice, lovely little snail he was. We're still talking about the snail. I hope you are still talking about the snail. I had to block the lower part of the screen, says Terence. I'm not quite sure why. Why? What? Because of my lovely stripy shorts? Go to a fencing company and get 3 metre lengths of 6-inch gravel boards. Oh, there we go. Fencing. How much are they? Can you get me a discount? That would be interesting. I had to block off the... No, I read all that. Anyway, so thank you very much for your comments about that. It's very kind, very good. So that's all marvellous. It's all coming together slowly. We're just now waiting for the lovely Richard Suggett to sort out the manure, which we're going to place in, and then maybe some compost, and then we'll get him in. And we'll probably do a little live show, a little consulting live show with the Master Suggett. The Master Suggett, who at one time was the Naked Gardener, but he's no longer the Naked Gardener, not in weather like this. He now wears duffel coats in this hot weather. He'd much rather have a duffel coat and, those sort of lagging that you put round the old tank in the water tank. He loves to wear that. He doesn't get naked anymore. No, far be it for Richard. And he's going to advise us exactly what we're going to need and what plants we can plant and all that sort of stuff. And Julia is going to be thrilled. She's going to be thrilled when we get the allotment all looking absolutely hunky-dory. And the great part is that once there is some lovely purple vegetables and all those other exciting things that we're going to be growing, or Julia's going to be growing, we're going to do a show. We're going to do a show, and we're going to cook up some of that lovely veg from her garden, from her allotment, and we're going to sample it and taste it, and Julia will find a meal and it will be great. And she's going to do a lot of the what they call heirloom vegetables, some historic ones, and it would be great to get hold of Paul Couchman as well, and to create a history recipe using some of the stuff that she's grown in her allotment. Maybe Richard has grown some other stuff that we could combine the two. It'd be fantastic. Anyway, the ideas are all there. So if you've got an allotment or you've got a garden that you grow some stuff in, you're proud of it, go and stick them on the Bald Explorer group page. We'd be interested to see what you're growing in these summer months. If you've got fruit trees, if you've got anything like that, it'd be interesting to know what you're up to and what you're growing. So do keep us sorted out. Richard says the manure is sorted. Yes, I bet it's been in the small room all day producing for us, which is marvellous. It's going to be as hot as the inside as a Pop-Tart. I bet it is. Or an apple turnover, says Andy Ash. Marvellous. Or a McDonald's apple pie. Oh, yes, there we go. We got the thing. Don't let Lynn Freud's whatever. Not quite sure where that is. Dan Thompson's talking about a raised garden. We can't raise it too high. It's going to be hot tomorrow, John. Oh, they're all talking about some stuff. So anyway, what does he say? Fencing company. Oh, you've done that. Right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Mark Taylor's got a video for us. Mark Taylor's been out and about doing a wonderful Vobing report. Let's see what Mark has been up to in his video. He's gone to find the controversial statue. And it might be a statue of somebody that you may recognise. Mark, take it away.
So you catch me in Aylesbury Market Square. If I switch round to here, you can see the market and well, you can't see the clock tower because of the trees. But here, is a statue. And it's called the Earthly Messenger. And it's in tribute to David Bowie. Now, Bowie didn't actually live around here, but he did start his career at a place called the Friars, Aylesbury, which is a music club. And he launched his Hunky Dory album from here. And so yeah, this is a tribute to David Bowie. Now, if you see on here, it's got some of his albums. And the different guises of David Bowie. Even when he was in Labyrinth. Going right up to the last album he produced at the top, and his earlier career below. There's Ziggy Stardust, and there's a bit there from Space Oddity. If you read at the bottom here, it mentions Starman. It's a really unusual piece, but there we go. The Earthly Messenger, which was designed and sculpted by Andrew Sinclair for Aylesbury, Friars Aylesbury Community Projects, directed by Sue and David Stotts. There you go.
It's funny, every time I think of David Bowie, I don't know why, I always think of I'm a Laughing Gnome and You Can't Catch Me. That to me, that's his number one greatest hit. But a lot of people sort of try to bury that one. I'm not quite sure why. But anyway, there we are. Thank you very much, Mark Taylor, and his controversial statue to David Bowie there. And that's exactly where he apparently started his career. So all good, all good. Well done to you. If you want to send in a video, then just send it to me, richard@vobes.com. Best thing to do is to send it via WeTransfer. They're an outfit on the internet. WeTransfer, all one word, WeTransfer.com. And then you get a little box to put who you're sending the video to, and I think you put your own one in and a message if you so wish, and then you bung your file into that, all online, very easy, and then it comes to me, if you send it to me, of course, richard@vobes.com, and that's the best way to do it, because you can get up to 2 gig of transfer data the size of your video. You can get up to 2 gigs for free. You don't have to join up. It's great way to transfer large files, and videos can be large files, especially if they're in high definition. Yeah. If you are making videos, if you can make them so that they're in 720p, then that would be great. If you know what I'm talking about, you may not quite get what I'm talking about. 720p is a great format for the OBS Studio software that I use, that bungs it out onto Facebook and YouTube, because otherwise I have to sort of conform it all. So if you can make sure you don't, and also please make sure you film horizontally, not vertically, because if you film it vertically, it's just a little strip. So many times it's so difficult to tell people that's the way you ought to film it. It's the same way your television is laid out, same way laptops are laid out. You just got to think, how is it cinemas are all filmed that way? It's so obvious, really, and yet you will see people going out, oh, I'll film that, and they just get this thin, narrow thing when they play it on a proper playback device. So, just telling you, just a little bit of housekeeping there, which is good. Now, if 720, Steve Pilfold, there we are, 720p, 16 megabits per second. I usually do it at about 730. You could 30 frames per second, which is great. Didn't know that was better for the Vobes. Yeah, 720. I mean, film it in whatever you like, whatever's native to the camera, so you get and then squish it down. And another thing, my advice would be to download a free piece of software. It's absolutely brilliant. It's a free piece of software called Handbrake. If you put into Google Handbrake video, you will come up. It'll come. I don't know whether it's Danish or Belgium or somewhere. It's somewhere in Europe anyway, and it's handbrake.br or something. I can't remember the thing, but anyway, you'll see. And what it is, it's a converter. Okay, it's a video converter. So when you're filming, you end up with a video and it's a huge file. And you think, God, it's going to take forever to upload that. You're doing it all wrong. What you need to do, download this Handbrake. You get your file, the video that you've filmed, whether it's be on a camera or a phone or whatever, and you filmed all of that, and you've got that, and you go, yeah, there's my file. Then on your laptop or your PC or whatever device that you use, you start off Handbrake. You move the movie file that you've filmed onto Handbrake. You'll see it's a screen. You just drop it anywhere on the screen and it will automatically read that file, whatever it is. It's a clever bit of kit, and you then just select 720 by 30 frames a second, and that's all you got to select, and then give it another file name where you want to store it on your hard drive or whatever, and you press encode, and then it will do it. It's so simple. And the thing is, you'll get something that's like, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 gig, and it'll turn it down to something like 35 meg. And the picture quality is still astounding. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how it works, but it keeps the quality of the picture, and yet somehow it just gets so that you can upload it, send it by email, send it by postage stamp, by whatever. It's terrific. So there, it's called Handbrake. You demonstrated your phone vertically earlier, there says Steve Pilfold. Good. That's nice observation skills. What is 720p? I just point my phone and press record. Yes, that's fine. Absolutely, that's what you should do, Maggie. And then when you send it to me, shove it through Handbrake. Just choose 720p. 1280 by 720 is a high definition resolution, but it's the lower of the two main HD resolutions. You've got the 1920 one, which is the standard one, and then you've got what we used to use when high def first came in, which is called 720. P stands for progressive. In the old days when people had cathode ray tube televisions, everything was filmed interlace. It's a complicated system. I'm not going to explain it, but just understand that used to be interlaced, which meant every frame was twice, and each frame had two images on it. It's hard to explain. And now it isn't. It's more like film, in fact, progressive, because it's more like one and then the next and then the next. And anyway, it doesn't really matter. Just as long as it's P, 720p, that's the thing. Just have P on the end of it, you'll be all right. Mark Taylor, you just missed your Bowie vid and a mini tribute to me and Beluzik. Yes, that's true. Anyway, any problems on that, just email me, richard@vobes.com. I'll put you straight. Or, of course, what you could do, even better, this Saturday, ladies and gentlemen, the 7th of July, you could attend the Make Better Videos workshop. Yes, it's going to be in Arundel. Takes place in Arundel at 10:30 till 3:30 with me hosting it, ladies and gentlemen. Yours truly, this Saturday in Arundel. We're going out, we're going to make some films. All of us just bring whatever kind of camera or your phone, it doesn't matter what it is. And we're going to talk about how you can improve your videos. It's a workshop. You don't need any prior experience. You can just be somebody who's just used to taking, the family photographs and that sort of stuff with your phone, or you can be a more professional and have a gimbal and a little camera, or you can have an SLR camera. It doesn't really matter. The gear is not important. It's just the concept of the business of storytelling using video, and that's what the workshop is about. Now, unfortunately, I put it on Facebook, and it seems that nobody's interested. Nobody seems to want. I've got two people. Lovely Richard Suggett is interested, and a chap called Tim Simmons, who has signed up, although I've answered him, but I haven't heard back from him. So it may just be Richard and I on Saturday. We're going to go to Gaskins. It starts anyway. Check it out. The notice is on the Facebook Bald Explorer page and on the Bald Explorer group page. Check out the address there, where it is in Arundel. But there's plenty of spaces. I'm only asking for a tenner to go around Arundel, but it's not so much trying to make a masterpiece or anything like that. It's more about going with me and seeing how I do it, and your opportunity to ask me questions about it. And I will say, look, when I'm doing this, this is why I'm filming it this way. This is why you could do it this way. These are the opportunities. These are the sort of decisions you can make. It's about telling a story on video and trying to just improve it a bit. We're not trying to make Ben-Hur. We're not trying to make Steven Spielberg specials. We're just trying to improve our skills and think slightly differently about how we make the videos. So Mark Selwood says, who's going to Richard's? I wish I was down the road. Richard is paying for lunch as much booze as you can sip. Oh, yeah, that's not quite true. I might come along, but not feeling good at the moment. Been feeling crap since Friday. Yeah, I'm not surprised, Kevin. Since watching our show, I probably made everybody feel crap. I'm so sorry about that, because it was very puerile, you see, on Friday. It was a very puerile show. We were doing thumb wars and we were chucking bits of paper. And do you know what? The lovely Julia and I were having a lovely time. And, of course, it was a bit puerile for some of you. I realise that. I understand it's very hard sometimes watching the Vobes because it can be very difficult for you. I do understand that. And it's probably made, your bowels are probably going, howls, bowels, what am I going to do? So there we go. Your long gone nugget. Oh, yeah, Tom Crawford has joined. Hello, Tom. It's lovely to see you. £10 to see how you do it. Sounds kinky. I'd give you 40. Will you come down then, Tom, and we'll show you how you do it. Mark said, well, I had major problems with sound. My external mic wobbled around so much I had cracking sound. Cracking? Oh, crackling. Crackling sound, I think. Clacking even. Clacking sound. Yes, we'll cover sound. Any of your questions, basically. Any of your questions, I will answer to the best of my ability. And if I can't find out at that moment or don't have the answers to the tip of my top, I've been doing videos since I was a kid. And before that, Cine. And before that, and so I've neg cut stuff. I filmed on 16mm. I filmed on Super 8mm. I filmed on standard 8mm. I filmed with 3 machine edits, and I filmed on SD and high def now, and so I've done a fair bit of filming in one way or another. So I kind of know what I'm talking about. Some of my walks, they're not really representative of everything I do, but if you've ever seen my long format video documentaries of the Bald Explorer, the long format ones that are crafted, you'll see that I can do what I'm talking about. So that's all good. Joe Smith says, that was amazing insight to production, Richard. Thank you very much, Joe. And I should mention that I'm going to be seeing Joe next week, and we have got some exciting filming to do up in Biddenden. in Kent. Lovely village. There's getting a few more Kentish viewers to the show, which is superb, and our walks. We're going to be featuring Kent a lot more in the forthcoming months. We're going to explore some more of the villages and that sort of way of life and history and heritage and all that on the Bald Explorer stuff. I've got lots of time for all of that, and the hop picking and various stuff that goes on in the beautiful garden, the Garden City. Not Garden City, that's where Mark is. The Garden of England, isn't it, Kent? It's a very nice place. So that's all good. I thought the line coming then was, and do you know what? We were enjoying ourselves, so I don't give a fig, I think is what we're saying. I found the thumb show to be too highbrow, says Mark Selwood. Yes, it can be very highbrow, actually. It does depend where you hold the thumbs. If you get up there, it can be quite obstructive to the eyes altogether. Jennifer Stewart says Richard needs 2 shows, one highbrow and one puerile. That will please everyone. You can't please everyone all the time. I did media studies, says Steve Pilfold, GCSE, and we had 3 VCRs for source. A source, B source, and of course Daddy's source. An output. What a pain in the bum that was. Yes, if anybody has edited with VCRs and has done that sort of editing, my goodness, what a toil it was in the old days, in the early days of video. Film editing was a treat. I used to have what we, in video, if you've got a video editing software these days, often they have an area where you have all your preview clips and stuff, and sometimes they call it a trim bin. Well, that name trim bin comes from the fact that you've actually got these lengths of real film in the old days trimmed off and hung on little hooks on the sprockets. And you would check each one being slated. Each one may have got some Chinograph penciling on it to tell you what it was, and you would assemble edit. And of course, in those days, if you were working with 16mm, which was cracking, you had to know your stuff. You really had to know what you were talking about, because you would on your work print, it was called, on your work print, you would have the visuals, and you would, on a Chinograph pencil, these Chinograph pencils with like white that can draw on plastic, you would indicate how many frames of fade or dissolve you wanted, because you couldn't see it. You would butt the 2 scenes together. So you'd have scene here of a man running into the sunset, and then the second one might be a woman coming out of a bath, shall we say. I don't know why I picked that, but there we are. So the man runs into sunset, woman comes, and you want to dissolve. You want to dissolve between the 2, and you've got 2 bits of footage of film, actual celluloid film, and you would butt them together like this. You would butt them together, and you would think, how long is that fade going to be? And it would be a mental process. You would think, yes, I want a 2-second fade. I want a nice long 2-second fade. So let's say you're running at 24 frames a second for the sake of argument. So that's 48 frames in total of this 2-second fade. So you take 24 frames that way and 24 frames that way, and you would do this elongated arrow shape to show that it was a dissolve back in the day. You'd have to know all the symbols to write on it. And then when it goes to the lab to have the final print, they would take the negatives, not your work print, but the negatives of that. They would find exactly the same spot on the negatives, ever so complicated, and they would go, oh yeah, these 2 bits are going to be joined here with a fade, and eventually you would end up with the fade. But the processing lab would do all that. It's all very complicated. Puerile, yes, says Jonathan Belusic. Yes, I like it. Make a note of it, darling. I wish I used that more in conversation. Steve Pilford says, when I trained for radio, we used, 1/4-inch Revox and razor blade. I used to love that. I used to do loads of tape hopping. I worked for a sound studio not long after I'd left school. And yes, the old you just have this silver block that you could put 1/4-inch tape in, and you'd have razor blades, and you could again do them diagonally or straight cuts with a little bit of tape and stick them together. I used to love mucking about with tape. It was great fun. Open reel stuff, reel-to-reel tape recorders. Fantastic. What else did you just say? Can't believe that was only 23 years ago, and I thought the computer editing for audio was pounds. Yeah, well, there we go. I'll be back on Thursday. That lovely Julia. Yes, the lovely Julia will be back on Thursday for the Thursday Puerile show, I should point out. So if you like a bit of puerile, if you don't like the puerile, make Thursday a day to avoid the Vobes. Get under the covers, put blankets over your head, stick yourself in the oven, gas yourself, put a rope round your neck and throw yourself off a bridge on Thursday if you don't like the puerile stuff, because we're going to be doing lots of purality. It will be a purality Vobe experience with the lovely TLJ. So that's what we're going doing there. Andy Ash says, back to the technical speak. Incredible what's done in the editing rooms in the old days. Do you know, the thing about it, it's an interesting concept, actually. When you worked in film, I mean, I'm talking real film, not sometimes we go, oh, I've made a film about it. And of course, we actually mean we've made a video, or we've made a digital file, really, I suppose is more correct, isn't it? We've made a digital file now. But anyway, back when you worked in film, proper film, it was expensive. Every frame cost you money, so much money. Depending on whether it was, say, Kodachrome or it was Super 8 or whatever it was, and it would come and it would be very expensive. So when you were shooting, you were sparing. You would know that what you were filming was going to come out. You couldn't waste film. You really didn't have that opportunity because it was costing you an arm and a leg. And the trouble is now people can just squirt video as if there's no tomorrow, which is fine. Because you can just leave it running and capture the bit. But you've got to find it. You've got to store all this data, and then you've still got to find it. And you know what? So when I work, I still work with that old mentality of know what you're filming, film just that, and turn the sodding camera off. Don't just keep filming rubbish, because you've got to store it. And I think that's a very sensible way forward, but it's ingrained with me. You may disagree. I will bring some puerile if it's called for Emily. So when Emily comes on the show on the 27th of July, it will be another puerile show, ladies and gentlemen. We want to get more purality into the show. I want this show to be as puerile as possible. And those poor people who don't like the purality of the show, they can be... We'll just squirt them with pural juice, whatever that is. Hang RV, thanks. That's nice. That's very nice, Elaine. I don't think you'll be appearing on the show now. If you hang me, there'll be no show. Jonathan Beluzic says, isn't puerile a hand wash? I don't know. Oh no, that's puerile. All right, fair dues. Your calendar needs turning over. Oh, Wendy Wakelin, thank you for being the one to spot. Yes, let's give Wendy the amazing one and only Scott Loose. Let's turn over the calendar. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we need turning over the calendar music. So here we go. This is a picture of me at one with the tree, it says. At one with the tree. There we go. How lovely is that? Thank you very much. Wendy Wakelin, you are an absolute star. We're hoping to see Wendy Wakelin again, I think on the 14th. Is it the 14th? You've got your steam up thing. I think the lovely Julia and I are going to be hot-footing it over to see you for sure. There we go. Marvellous, marvellous. So there we go. When I come on the show next week, I want to have puerile lavishly spread on toast for such a highbrow show. Yes, I should say that the wonderful Jonathan Beluzic will be appearing on the show. We're complete with Cowboy's hat, ladies and gentlemen, because we are going to be launching. We're going to be launching the new. And we've all been waiting for months. We're going to be we've been waiting for a long time, but we're going to be launching. It does eventually arrive. We're going to be launching, ladies and gentlemen. I will get my words out and tell you what it is we're going to be launching just as soon as I remember what you call it. The merchandise. Yes, we're going to have cups and T-shirts available. We're going to be talking about that on the next show, which I can't remember when we said. Did we say Monday? Can't remember. But it's all going to be there. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be lovely, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be lovely. So that's Jonathan Beluzik on the show. It's lovely to have guests on the show. We'll have a bit more puerile dancing. Nothing too serious on this show, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing too serious. The Bald Explorer is a bit more serious, as you know, but the Vobes is where he lets his hair down, or lets it completely off the hoof, which is fine. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Paul Couchman says hooray, or hurrah, even. So that'll be nice. Emily Champion says, I shall be preparing a whole variety of puerile, which will be great. Fantastic. Yes, 14th or 15th, says Wendy Wakelin. That's it. The Wendy Wakelin Big Steam Up. We'll give you some information about how you can get to the Big Steam Up. Wendy's going to provide us with some information, because I can't really remember anything about it at the moment, mainly because my brain is a little bit spent, because I've been digging a hole. I've been digging a hole all my life, ladies and gentlemen, but I've been digging a hole very close to the lovely Julia so that she can have this wonderful allotment, which is going to be great. Nature calendar needs turning, and do we get the gallery today, says the lovely Julia, making sure I do not forget, because the lovely Julia has been remotely assisting the Vobie One-Eyed Kenobi by choosing the pictures. Yes, the nature calendar does need turning over, but it does mean I'd have to stand up, and unfortunately I'm not wearing very much underneath, because it's so hot, and I didn't want to expose what I'm wearing or not wearing, ladies and gentlemen, because you can only see me from the here up, and I've got my frillies on, my little black and white polka dot frillies. And I can't quite. I'll turn that over later on if that's all right. So yes, no, I can't stand up tonight. Can't stand up. Let's go and do. Let's see what's in the what do you call it? The group. The Bald Explorer group, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go and see what we've got in the group this week, and who has been posting in the group pages these wonderful pictures. People post their lovely pictures. We encourage them to post their pictures of all sorts of bits and pieces: landscape, countryside, nature, and even allotments and gardens. You know, anything to do with that sort of stuff, we absolutely love it. Anything to do with it being out and about and exploring things. So that's what we encourage people to do, and they usually have, you know, a number of pictures, and we just select one at random. And tonight it was the lovely Julia doing the picking, so we'll see what the Julia's picking has provided for us. And on the gallery today, yes, we've got a pair of tits on the landscape. No. I'm sorry. That's a different show. This is from Cheryl Craggs, who's been to Northumberland, and she says that she took a walk. She's recently moved up there, apparently, and she took a walk, and she came across these curious landmarks. Now, I'm very interested to know what they are. I don't think we got the information about that, but they do look very interesting up there in Northumberland. So, Cheryl, if you're watching, can you tell us a bit more where they are and what they're for? Because they do look rather interesting. Meanwhile, lovely Claire Leach has been to Hampton Court, and look at that remarkable, very lovely Georgian building there. Look at that with the great the columns there. Are they Corinthian columns by the underneath that portico? Absolutely delightful, with a great big balustrade across the top, which is looking very good. I haven't been to Hampton Court since I was a tiny little kid. Meanwhile, Darren Windybank has been to Herm. Not sure where Herm is, actually. Where is Herm? I've never heard of Herm, but it looks very gorgeous, and you seem to have got the beach all to yourself, although the sun appears to have disappeared, unfortunately, but thank you for posting. Elizabeth Brazier has been to Goodnestone Park in Kent, and she's been photographing with her macro camera, or micro, is it? Bees, by the looks of things. She's got the bees' knees. That looks a lovely little critter. It's good to see the bees out and about doing what they do best, of course. Mark Taylor has been to Bicester Village, and now it's spelt Bicester, but it's actually pronounced Bicester. I've been to Bicester. It's very nice in Bicester. And there's a little bit of topiary. Look at that. I wonder if that is a yew or box or what it is. But it's when I say yew, I mean the actual the tree. You know, the tree that it's made of. It's actually, that's quite interesting. I wonder which of those legs is the root of the tree. Can't be all 4 of them. That's a curious thing, isn't it? But it's a sheep, obviously. It's a sheep. Or maybe it is a ewe sheep. Who knows? So Mark Taylor, maybe you could fill us in on that, but that's marvellous. Another Mark with a Q. Mark English has been to Polesden Lacey Estate because he is performing in the Merry Wives of Windsor, and he does a marvellous job in the Merry Wives of Windsor. He says he's got a smallish role, but I'm sure that's just something he's stuffed down in his trousers. He looks very smart there. He's been doing some filming with his new camera, and we're looking forward to the results of all of that. It's marvellous. He's a good lad. And I'm hoping next Sunday to go up and see this show, maybe with the lovely Julia if she's up for it. We'll go and support Mark English in his afternoon performance of the Merry Wives of Windsor. It sounds absolutely fantastic. So moving on. These are great pictures, by the way, lovely Julia. You've done a fabulous job. So that was that. We've done Mark English. So now Paul Hine has been to Swanwick Lakes. I assume that's how it's pronounced, Swanwick Lakes. And this is the R factor. Look at that lovely little ducky wucky. It's actually a Tritanosaurus Rex. Try saying that when you're drunk. It's a lovely little ducky. Thank you, Paul. It's very nice to see that. Robert Crosser has been to Eden Valley. And there is a nice bit of water, nice blue water and nice blue sky. And if I am not wrong, they are nice oak trees on the bank opposite. Don't they look like the lovely oak trees that we all love and adore? Thank you to Robert Crosser for putting those in the group. Stuart Hill has been somewhere in Yorkshire at the Sculpture Park, and there is his pussy, his octopussy, I imagine. Lovely multicoloured looking thing. Thank you very much, Stuart. They look divine. Well, don't get eaten by the tentacles. It's funny because when I was a kid, shouldn't really say this, but when I was a kid, I got a bit confused. I was sure that tentacles actually were testicles and testicles were tentacles, which made my school life when I was 14, 15 very difficult for me, being in an all-boys school. Finally, Terry Wood has been to the Valiant Soldier Museum and Heritage Centre, and there it is. Look, the Valiant Soldier Museum, which looks a valiant building as well, with a nice slated roof by the looks of things. All very nice, and looks like the village shop as well inside. So there you go. Go and check them out. They support everybody else's work, which is always good to do. It's all looking absolutely marvellous. What lovely posts. Thanks to the lovely Julia there for finding all those lovely posts. Emily Champion is looking at the duck and going, "No, it's very cute." Andy Ash. Kevin Hall says, "Andy Ash, don't mention cough because that's what I'm going to do a lot of." Oh, I don't know what that is. Roasted duck, says Tom Crawford. Yeah, thanks for that. I've signed a non-disclosure agreement with Julia. I'm not quite sure what that's all about. And Emily Champion, oh no, that's something. So people are talking amongst themselves. So basically that's what's going on there. Thank you very much. Now, before we come to the end of the show, we've only got 6 minutes left. It's amazing. I've been talking all that time. Me and my big mouth, just as the lovely Julia would say, my, what does she say? Floppy mouth. No, not flappy mouth. Yes, thanks. My flappy mouth. Let me tell you, tomorrow, going to Binstead, going on a walk with the lovely Emma Tristram to have a look at Binstead and the A27 and the controversy, depending on how you like to pronounce these things, of the bypass, the new A27 that they're going to shove through some historic ancient woodland all round Binstead and the other villages in the vicinity, and going to find out exactly what is going to be devastated and how it's going to affect the environment. We're going to be making a film and talking to some interesting people, looking at the Knuckler Hole and some other bits and bobs, which are all going to be affected in the lovely Sussex countryside just below Arundel, and find out why. Why is it all happening, and what is going to be the outcry from it? What are we going to lose in our heritage? I'm very upset that this is going to happen, and what possibly we can do to change the people's minds, the highways agency's minds. So that's going to be interesting. I think the lovely Julia's coming with me. She's got to be ready at 9 o'clock, lovely Julia, and we've got to get there by 9:30 because there's a lot going on. Nigel Cooper, the lovely Nigel Cooper, is in the show tomorrow as my guest of honour this week. He's going to be on the show. He'll be sitting here next to me. I need to squeeze up a bit. So Nigel will be here. We're going to be talking about a career in comedy, career in children's television, and what he does with his feet. He does some amazing things with people's feet, does old Nigel. I'm out on Wednesday with Dump Man. Yes, Dump Man. It's been a long time, but I'm looking forward to getting out and about with Chris Bedford, looking at disused railways, making a couple of films about those, which will be coming, of course, to the Bald Explorer pages fairly soon. So that's all very exciting. Claire Leach has offered to take the lovely Julia and I to Arlington Reservoir on Thursday. Is it Thursday? I think it's Thursday. I can't remember the day now. I think it was Thursday. Must be. So we're going to go. We're hoping that the sun still shines, because the last time we were going there, we had to cancel, didn't we, Claire? We had to cancel, unfortunately, because it was raining and it was rubbish. But it'll be a lovely sunny day, and I'm sure that we can all go for a nice splishity-splash, swippity-swim in the reservoir, which would be fantastic, which would be good. Of course, on Saturday, there is the Vobes video workshop. Make better videos. See if you can sign up. Just email me if you're interested in doing it. Email me, richard@vobes.com. Email me, I'll send you the details. Or there is posts on the Bald Explorer pages about the video workshop. I will be pushing it this week. If you can come, it would be fantastic, because at the moment I've got Richard Suggett, possibly Tim Simmons, and nobody else. So we're just trying new things to improve and make things better and run things, and it'd be great if a few people could support it. That would be marvellous. This week on the videos on the Bald Explorer, we've got more from Parham House with the lovely Tom Brown from Tom Brown School Days. No, not him, obviously not him, and not Flashman or anything like that, but Tom Brown, the head gardener at Parham House. Fantastic insight into the gardens. We go to the orchard and then the pleasure gardens, and we see an incredible maze that they have at Parham. Definitely worth not missing that one for a start. Then on Wednesday on the Bald Explorer Daily video, the lovely Julia and I go to Saltdean, and we go beach cleaning. We filmed it on Sunday. We had a great fun day. We put a little bit on the Bald Explorer pages. It was good fun. We interview some people. We interview a couple of 5-year-olds, ladies and gentlemen, who are a dab hand with a grabber. Oh, yes. They know how to go and twiddle their gribbly grabs. Yeah, they know what they're doing. So we've got that. And then towards the end of the week, you get the first 2 reports of my investigations and explorations, rather, on the Forest of Dean. Oh, it's going to be mean in the Forest of Dean. So that's what's the lineup for the videos this week. So working very hard for your enjoyment and keeping you amused. And, of course, the shows will be coming the lovely Julia on Thursday as well, and there you go. So that's kind of the lineup for the week, which is rather good. If you are a patron, should just say this, if you are a patron of the Vobes, you get, by supporting the Bald Explorer, it helps not just me, it helps the lovely Julia, it helps everybody get their videos, it helps having the guests on the show, it makes it all good, it makes it exciting. But if you are one of those lovely people who dip your hand into your pocket and maybe just, a couple of quid a month, that's all, a couple of quid a month, or you just give us a one-off donation of, whatever you can afford, it all helps to get these videos going. It helps to keep this show going. I was thinking about paring it back and not doing so many of the live shows because, without it's a big commitment. It's 15 hours a week. I worked out there's about an hour's of prep before the show. There's the hour of doing the show, and then there's an hour of doing the uploads and bits and pieces to YouTube and sort of, having a cup of coffee and coming down from the high of doing the show. It takes about 3 hours of an evening. So you do that 5 days of a week, that's 15 hours commitment. If that's not worth a couple of quid a month for 25 shows a month, then I really don't know what is. But we try to keep you entertained. We try to do all of that. We try to get you interesting guests. It's all done on a shoestring. So, but also what I was leading up to saying is that if you do support the Voby One-Eyed Kenobi, and you become a patron, you also get now the behind the scenes. So you'll get The Naked Englishman, which is a podcast, a daily stream of consciousness of my thoughts. You get that every day, come rain or shine. 10 minutes audio. You can just listen to it or not listen to it. It's entirely up to you. But at the end of every week now, you get an insight to behind the scenes of what the Vobes and all the people who's, the guests on the show. You get a little bit of comment from the guests after the show, or if I'm out filming with somebody, we get a little comment. and stuff, and it all gets put together into a little very, very short sort of, 20-minute video that goes out at the end of the week, shows you an insight to behind the scenes. If you are a patron, you also get that. So you're not only supporting the show, but you're getting exclusive content. We're trying to do it. So have a look at that. That is the place to go. thebaldexplorer.com/support. Well worth going if you are able to do that. That would be great. But if not, don't worry. Just, carry on watching the show, sharing the show. If you can share the show, if you can share the video walks on other groups and places that you go, if you can, any of that. I'm going to get some flyers done soon, and you'll be also going to be able to have a handful of flyers that you can put up on notice boards and tell people about and all of that. We need to spread the word. We need to do it ergonomically, if that's the right term. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we've run out of time. What a shame. But join me again tomorrow with the lovely Nigel Cooper in the seat next to me. So do tune in for that. Don't forget to watch and support as much as you can. It's all very much appreciated. However, when you hear this music, it means I've got to go. It's been lovely to do the show. Another week starts ahead. All positive, all exciting, all good fun. Thanks to the lovely Julia for picking out the gallery shots today, which is great. Thanks to you guys for tuning in as ever. Thanks for sharing and helping and supporting. And big thank you to all my patrons who make all this possible. It's absolutely wonderful. Take care, one and all. And I'll see you tomorrow. All the best. Bye for now. Bye. Goodbye.